Welcome to Furniture Industry News. I'm here with your Monday update for August 11th, 2025. Today we're covering some major developments that are shaping our industry right now, from the latest on trade policies to retail performance data that's giving us insights into where the market is heading. Let's start with the biggest story affecting furniture imports and pricing, the ongoing China tariff situation. Just hours ago, President Trump signed an executive order extending the tariff truce between the U.S. and China for another 90 days. This pushes trade negotiations out to the fall, which means furniture manufacturers and retailers get a bit more breathing room to plan their inventory and pricing strategies. But here's what's interesting about this extension. It comes at a time when tariffs are already costing U.S. consumers about $122 billion each month, according to recent surveys. For furniture professionals, this number hits close to home because our industry relies heavily on imported goods from China. We're talking about everything from raw materials to finished furniture pieces that make their way into American homes. The extension gives our industry some stability, but it's temporary. Companies need to keep preparing for potential changes come November. The current trade policies have already added up to $79 billion in tariffs based on trade levels at the time they were put in place. For furniture businesses, this means continued pressure on margins and the ongoing challenge of balancing cost increases with consumer demand. Speaking of consumer demand, let's talk about what we're seeing in retail sales data. The furniture sector has been experiencing some notable challenges this year. For the first 6 months of 2024, furniture store sales were down 7%. That's the sharpest decline compared to other retail categories. Building equipment and garden supplies were down 3.5%, and sporting goods stores dropped 3.2%, but furniture led the pack in terms of declining sales. However, there was a bright spot in July that caught industry attention. Retail sales made what analysts called a strong comeback that month, and this included some positive movement in the home goods sector. The question that many industry watchers are asking is whether this July uptick was just a temporary blip or the beginning of a more sustained recovery. What made July interesting was the timing of promotional events. Many home retailers pulled forward their usual back-to-school and fall promotional periods, creating what some are calling pull-forward retail events. These early promotions seem to pay off for home retailers, suggesting that consumers are still interested in furniture and home goods. They just need the right incentive to make purchases. The strategy of moving promotional periods earlier in the season appears to have worked because it captured consumer spending at a time when people might have been holding back due to economic uncertainty. For furniture retailers, this suggests that timing and promotional strategy are more critical than ever in today's market environment. Looking at the broader picture, the furniture and home goods market reached $579 billion in 2024, and analysts project it will grow at a 5.2% annual rate, potentially reaching nearly $962 billion by 2034. These numbers suggest long-term optimism for the industry, even as we navigate current challenges. The pull-forward promotional strategy that worked in July offers some lessons for furniture retailers thinking about their fall and holiday strategies. Instead of waiting for traditional promotional periods, successful retailers are creating their own timing to capture consumer attention and spending. This approach helps combat the general trend of consumers being more cautious with discretionary purchases like furniture. What's particularly relevant for furniture professionals is how these promotional strategies need to work alongside ongoing supply chain considerations. With tariff situations still in flux and the extension only lasting 90 days, retailers and manufacturers need promotion strategies that can adapt quickly to changing cost structures. The data shows that while overall furniture sales have been down, strategic promotional events can still drive consumer engagement. The key seems to be creating urgency and value propositions that motivate consumers to make purchases they might otherwise delay. For manufacturers, this environment means staying flexible with production schedules and inventory management. The 90-day tariff extension provides some planning visibility, but companies can't assume this stability will continue indefinitely. Smart manufacturers are using this period to diversify their supply chains and explore cost reduction opportunities that don't depend solely on trade policy outcomes. Retailers, meanwhile, are learning that traditional seasonal patterns may not apply as strongly as they used to. The success of pull-forward promotional events suggests that consumers are ready to buy when presented with compelling offers, regardless of whether it's the traditional time for furniture shopping. The combination of tariff uncertainty and changing consumer behavior patterns means that furniture industry professionals need to stay more acrobatic than ever before. Companies that can quickly adjust their promotional calendars, supply chain strategies, and pricing models are likely to perform better in this environment. As we move through the rest of 2025, the furniture industry is operating in a landscape where trade policy, consumer behavior, and promotional timings all interact in ways that require constant attention and adaptation. The 90-day tariff extension provides some stability, but successful companies are using this time to build more resilience into their operations rather than simply waiting to see what happens next. The July retail comeback and the success of pull-forward promotional events show that opportunity exists even in challenging market conditions. Furniture professionals who can combine strategic timing with operational flexibility are positioning themselves to succeed regardless of what trade negotiations bring in the fall. That's your update for today's furniture industry news. If you found this information helpful for staying current with industry developments, make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss future updates on the trends and policies shaping our business.